Hello and welcome to how to use YNAB for Christmas spending. YNAB is a convenient tool to plan and track your Christmas spending. And so we're going to talk today about a few ways, a few different hacks that you can use within YNAB to keep track and plan what you're spending for Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas, or if not, if you offer gifts and entertainment around the holiday time. There's a way to use YNAB to your advantage to keep track of those expenses. So let's take a look real quick. I'm going to share my screen and go to YNAB on a laptop. And the first way that we can use YNAB for tracking our Christmas spending is we can add a category for those expenditures. Now you can include it in the spending plan you already have. So for example, here we have groceries, eating out, transportation. You can simply add it as a day-to-day type of expense. We're going to add a category here, and we're just going to call it Christmas. And that can be gift purchases. It can be food. If you want to drill down a little more and know exactly what it is, you can make multiple categories. But we're going to start and keep it simple with Christmas. We're going to put it below our usual categories of transportation, eating out, and groceries. And so what that would look like within your spending plan, we've got some dollars here that are available to assign. You would discern what amount you're planning to spend that month, and you would add it into your spending plan just like any of your other categories. So let's be generous, and we're going to put $500 in there. So that's added for you. It's available, and it's assigned a job of purchasing Christmas goodies. So when you go along day to day in your spending, you would simply add these with the category of Christmas. So for example, we'll add a transaction here, and let's say we went to HEB and we bought Christmas dinner. And that was to the tune of about $200. So we're going to enter that, and it's going to deduct it from our spending plan from our Christmas category. And one more example before we move on. If you went to, let's say, Kohl's, and you purchased pajamas for your mom, you spent $50, then we could add that as well. Save that. And then when you go back to your spending plan, you'll see that both of those transactions are recorded, and you know where that $250 went. You know what it was spent on. So that's the first way. You just make an extra category and add it to your regular spending plan. Now there's a couple other ways we can explore. The first one is within your spending plan, you can also designate, instead of a category, you can make a little savings reserve. So this is handy if you are disciplined to start saving for Christmas early. And I would recommend saving as early as possible. The reason for that is the earlier you start putting money aside for Christmas, the less you actually have to commit to for each pay period or each month or week, or however you're however often you're depositing into that fund. So you would pick another category group, which would be goals. And within your goals category, you would add Christmas. And this is more of a long range advanced type of plan. So what you can do here, since it's under your regular spending plan, you also have the flexibility of using what's called a target within YNAB. So you can go here and create a target. Say you wanted to make sure you had that $1,000. So you can say, I need $1,000, and how much time do you have to work with? Well, I need that by the last, let's say Black Friday. So we're going to say the 23rd of November. And next month, I want to set aside another $1,000. Bear with me just a second. Yeah. And we're going to save that target. And it's letting you know you've got $1,000 to go. So if we this month put in $200 for that target, it would tell us through YNAB that you're about not quite a quarter of the way there. You've got $800 to go, and so it's going to keep that in the golden rod color until you meet your target. Now, a third way, if you've already been putting aside money for their Christmas expenditures, one thing YNAB lets you do is you can create multiple spending plans within YNAB and go back and forth between them. And so what we're going to show you here is a spending plan that is dedicated to Christmas and holiday spending. So we're going to go up here and we're going to open the Christmas spending plan. And here, this is going to be for a certain amount of money that you've got a certain place. And what you can do is, for the amount of money you've set aside, you can then drill down a little further and get real specific about how those funds are going to be spent along between your family members, your parents, your friends and neighbors. And you can even use YNAB to make your Christmas list. So if you know that you're going to get your spouse some golf clubs or some game tickets, a bathrobe, or even some socks, you can put these amounts in there. And then as you're shopping, you can deduct what you're spending. And so that YNAB is going to keep you on track. Same thing for your child or your children. You can decide in advance what you're looking for, what those expenditures are going to be. And you can keep track as you're going through and making your holiday purchases. You can keep track of exactly what you're spending. And we always put socks in there because that's the best Christmas gag gift. Everybody needs a few extra pairs of socks for Christmas. Even for your parents, you can decide in advance what's going where. And your friends and neighbors, you want to make sure that you've set aside some money for cookies and for pies and for Christmas cards. And then you want to remember the folks at the office. You might have a gift for your boss. You might have an obligation for Secret Santa or a white elephant gift. And so this allows a way to account for those expenditures and keep track of them as you're making those purchases. So those are the three ways that we can use YNAB to keep track of those expenditures for Christmas ahead of time and while we're making those purchases, so that by the end of the holiday season, you have a real good handle on what the amounts are that perhaps you need for the next year, what you've spent on certain purchases, and just gives you a much better picture of where those funds are going and what is reality for what you need to spend for Christmas and holidays. So I hope this video helps you. This is day 7, I believe, in our 34 days of YNAB. In case we haven't met, my name is Jocelyn Victoria, and this is Victory Financial Fitness. Thanks for your time, and we look forward to seeing you on the next day. Take care.